Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to speak to you about something that I gave a little hint in one of my vlogs that I did for Vlogmas. So back in November last year, I applied to the University of Tasmania to be an online student and get my Bachelor of Education in Primary degree. In the video, I did actually hint that I had received 2 days before Christmas my acceptance letter, which was so exciting. But now it's getting very close to actually starting uni, so I wanted to do a little intro into something that I want to maybe make like a mini series, just not only for those people online that may be doing this subject, whether it's in Tasmania or all around Australia, but also if you are disabled, I think this will really be a useful tool before you start. All right, let's get into the video. So as I said, I am going to be completing in the next 4 years my Bachelor of Education in Primary, which means I can actually be a main class teacher from prep to grade 6. So I can dabble in maths, English, science, history, all that kind of stuff, which is really exciting. And it's one of the earliest memories I have. I think I was about 3 or 4 when I first decided that this is the career that I wanted to do. I used to sit on the floor, whether it was a friend's house or mum and dad's house, anywhere, and I would line up all the teddies in like a little circle, and I would hand out paper to them and give them pencils and say, you know, on a little blackboard that I kind of made up, I would have, you know, at 9 o'clock we would do writing, at 10 o'clock we would do maths, at like certain time for like lunch and all that kind of stuff, and then like a bus would come and pick them up. So it's kind of something that, yeah, that's always been in me, and I'm really excited to finally getting to do it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the process that I went through to get my application, and also what I've been up to since Christmas time. So as I said, yeah, 2 days before Christmas I got my application. So they just ask you to pretty much familiarize yourself with the online, because that's where I'm doing it, on the website. So to know where to put your assignments, to asking questions, and you know, you introduce yourself to other online students as well, because we won't have that interaction face to face with the teacher or the other students. Then we kind of get to know each other online, which is kind of cool as well. So even though you may feel like you're doing it on your own, you're actually not, because there's always somebody there to help you with something or to guide you in the right direction, which is absolutely fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to it. But there's 2 main reasons why I decided to do it online. One, not only did I want to stay home as much as possible with particularly Alex because he's not at school, but also Haley, but you actually can't complete a teaching degree in Hobart at the moment, I believe. So I would have to, because that's the closest campus for me, so I would have to go all the way to Launceston. So unless I want to either drive for 4 hours or I move up there, online was the best option for me. So that's pretty much why. So the introduction. So after you receive your letter of acceptance, they also ask you not only to have a look online and familiarize yourself, but to actually complete a numeracy and a literacy test. These I thought I was going to ace, like first go, take me maybe half an hour. They give you a time limit, I think it was 2 hours for each test, and you get unlimited amount of time, amount of goes to do it until the certain date of the cutoff. But yeah, unfortunately it took me a few times to do both, not only because I was trying to do them with both the kids up and like on the weekends, but also it's been a while since I've been at school, and honestly, the maths one was probably the hardest, only because it had so many other things that I didn't expect it to have in it, especially to work in primary. Some of these things you won't need unless you're working in secondary or in a specific job that you need that kind of maths for. So I think it's just kind of like an all-rounder for everybody. It's not specifically just for teaching staff, which was kind of a shock to me. And again, with the literacy one, it was a lot more than what I thought. I did get it eventually, and you do have to get above 80% for a pass. So that's kind of your first step into getting into university. So once I had found out that I had passed my literacy and numeracy test, they ask you to come up to the university to get a identification card and also a library card, which I've just found out recently they are putting the two into one. So I've now had to go back up to uni the other day and get a new one. But I do have my old one. Let me see if I can reach it. Here it is here. Oh gosh. And it just tells you your name, and every university student has their own ID number, when your expiry, so like when you finished your course, and also what course you're doing as well. So I'm going to hide my ID, but that's me. That's such a terrible photo. I hate that photo. So I'm glad I actually got to upload a photo for the new badges, as I said, that will have the security to get into all the buildings if we need to, if we're an on-campus student. I'm glad I got to upload a nicer photo. So I think I'm going up Tuesday, I believe. I think I was going up to uni to get my new one, because I had to print a new one out for all the students. So just as I've gone and got this a couple of weeks ago, they've now decided, yep, no, we're going to put the two together and everybody else has to come and get one. But with this card actually, and also with the other one, I actually get, because I am disabled, there are obviously, if you've been to uni, you know the big lecture rooms and all that kind of stuff. Most of them are wheelchair accessible into the building, but once you're there, obviously there's stairs down to like the seats and stuff. And so when you're doing your exams, the same thing. So they have allocated already for me, which I love, a particular room where I can go into to do my exams or to do any quiet study that I need to. So that my badge will give me access to that, and whoever else is like physically disabled, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's really exciting. So I don't know if I will go to uni yet. I probably do one day a week, every couple of weeks, just to have some peace and quiet and outside of the house time. But yeah, majority of the time will be here at university. But I just had to double check because I wasn't quite sure on the names exactly of the 4 units that I am doing for the first semester. So one of them is 102, which is Foundations of Teaching. The next one I am doing is 106, which is Academic Literacy. And I'm just saying these in order because it's easier. 110 is Foundations of English. And then the last one is 120, which is Personal and Professional Numeracy. So they are, you can do more or you can do less. It depends on what kind of caseload you want. I decided to go all 4 because they were ones that were not optional. There's a name for it and it's escaped me right now, but they were like fundamental ones that you had to do. Looking at the caseload at the moment and trying to decide whether I can actually fit 4 units in one semester. So the semester finishes in July. I don't have any exams for these ones, thank goodness. So that means at least first semester I won't have exams. One of these units does require you to have professional learning. So you go into a school and you can do, I think it's minimum of 2 hours 1 day a week, unless the school principal and teacher would like you for longer or more days. But that's the minimum that you have to do, which I'm really looking forward to. So I think there's about 6 weeks or maybe a bit more of that. But I'm so excited because I love being in that element. Like, that's just where I thrive. I'm kind of like he's my supervisor, just so that they're there in the background, just helping us if we make mistakes or we need to do something and we haven't thought about it or whatever. So yeah, it's really exciting. But I do have a little bit of experience in the classroom, is when I did my teaching assistant or education support certificate a few years ago now. That was one of the things that we had to do as well. We had to do 6 months, 1 day, like a whole day, so from 8:30 to 3 o'clock. We had to be a teacher assistant, which was so much fun. I absolutely loved it. I actually did it at Haley's old school, and that's just been like, if I could work in any school, that's like my dream school to work in. So if I can get my professional placement there, I will just be the happiest girl ever. I'm just so excited. I cannot wait for that time. But that's not until May. So I've got a little bit of theory to do first before I do my prac. So after I had picked my units, they have just become available online. So you can go into the university website and check out, like, they have the names and number, like contact details of your unit coordinators and all those kind of things, who to speak to if something goes wrong or you need extensions, that kind of stuff, or have questions. It also outlines what is expected in the unit. And also, as I said, one of the units, it talks about the dates that we will be doing the prac. And just says like when assignments are due and how many words and all that kind of stuff, and where to get your resources from while you're doing that work. So I actually decided, instead of having to go back into the units online all the time to check, I decided that I would print them out. So there's quite a lot of paper here. So I've set them up in, let me get this one, in manila folders. So I've got, at the moment, I've only got 2 manila folders, but I do need more. So I've kind of put 2 subjects in each one. But this one I'll just show you quickly. So this is like a unit schedule. So that's all I've printed out pretty much. And so it just tells me week 1, which, as I said, starts tomorrow, 25th of February. What we need to do, so module 1, and then it tells us week 2, week 3, all the way up to mid-semester break, which will be in the end of April, and what we're learning on those weeks, as I said, when things are due, where to see the information about what we need to do for that week will be online on our special. We have like a special little, it's called Marlo, and yeah, we just kind of go into there, have a look what's due for that week, get it done in our however many hours we need to do. I think they say for 4 units you do 40 hours, so it's a full-time job. So yeah, I'm debating whether to drop a class or not, just because of the workload. Now that I've seen all this, like I said, this is only 1 and this is the whole semester. So there's like, I think there's 8 pages for just this one as well. So yeah, and then there's more. I don't know whether I'll be able to keep up with the 4 units, so we'll just wait and see. But I know you can pull out, I think it's week 3, where you think you're going with it, you can handle the load. And then it just says there's like, if there's quizzes and how much also to the percentage is of when you get graded for that particular thing. Was there anything else? I think that was pretty much it. So yeah, that's all my units outlined. So I said I've got 4 of those ready to go. We were given also in like a little pack, I can't get it on the moment because it's on the board, I'll leave it there, but a weekly planner. So so it says Monday to Sunday, it says from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. it says, and then it has midnight as well, and then it has like blocks of time for 1 hour. I'll take a photo and insert it here. You can block out certain times for like breakfast, lunch, if you've got kids, like times that you drop off and pick up kids from school or daycare or anything like that. And then what times, and then you put in your study times so that you keep yourself accountable, because it can be very easy, especially if you're doing it online and you're doing it at home. It can be very easy to slip into, I don't have time for this, or I don't want to do this, or things like that. I did talk to Steve about family time, because obviously that's important too, because obviously Hayley's at school, yes, Monday to Friday, but on the weekends when she's home, I don't want to have to be sitting there studying, and the kids want to go out and we want to go do things, but I have to be home. So I have pretty much decided, I think other than like 9 to 10 p.m, I'm not studying that whole day, so that the kids have got my attention, we can go out and do things, or we can do whatever we want on that day, which is exciting. So I'm going to definitely be looking forward to Sundays. At the moment, what I've looked at with my units is most things are due on a Monday, so I wanted to at least have an hour, maybe hour and a half, to double check everything on a Sunday night before I hand it in on before I email it in on Monday morning. So obviously, as an online student, probably the most important thing you will have is a computer at home or a laptop. So I am going to use a MacBook Air. This is not one of the new ones. I wish it was one of the new ones, but I don't have $10,000 to spend on a new one. So yeah, I think this is a couple of years old. We bought from a friend, so I will be using this baby. It is a little slow, but it's not too bad. So hopefully it will keep up with me and all it needs to do. So this is what I normally edit my videos on with iMovie, but with uni we'll be using PowerPoint and Word and all that kind of stuff. So I've had to kind of have a look at how to do all that kind of stuff, because it's been a while since I've used those programs. Another piece, as I said, I've never done uni before, especially online, and I'm somebody that likes to have, if we've got like an assignment or something, I like to have actually physical pieces of paper rather than reading it on the computer. So I went out and bought myself a notebook, which has got lots of pages in it, which is good. So whether I need to write any important dates down for anything in particular, that's all done. And also I've taped my contact details of all my semester 1 at least unit coordinators in there. I can't actually reach them at the moment because they're on the other side of the desk, without having to move everything. I have got 4 books that I will be using at least this semester, hopefully for the rest of the semester. So I have been looking online everywhere, because it can be quite expensive, these uni books, especially if you buy them from the university and they're brand new. So I have been scouting Facebook, and that's one really good tip, is to have a look at Facebook, or if you know any friends that have in the last year or two have completed your degree, whatever you're doing, if they have their textbooks, you can get them secondhand, which saves you so much money. It's ridiculous. But I think one of them I've had to unfortunately pay full price for, and it's one of my most expensive, because I have looked for, I reckon, a month and a half for this particular book, and I just can't find it anywhere. No one's got it. So I believe there are quite a few people looking for this particular book that are doing either Bachelor or Masters as well. So yeah, I've had to buy that one from the university, so that one's gonna sting the pocket a little bit. So hopefully, I ordered that last week. So hopefully that will be either here, either tomorrow when I start, or at least by the end of the week. So I might have some catching up to do. But as a disabled student, I have actually been able to, as I said, with the ID card and stuff, I have actually spoken to a few times to a disability coordinator. So every university has those. So if you are disabled and you're looking at uni, definitely go and seek out who that is. So yeah, I've been talking to them about, you know, my anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And even though I am doing it online, it makes it easier for them because they don't have to, you know, kind of help me in everyday situation. It's only every so often if I come on campus for, as I said, to study, to borrow a book, or to do my exams. So that's really good. So it makes their job a little bit easier, but it's nice to know I do have that support. But with Facebook as well, there are a couple of different, depending on what subject you're doing and where you're doing it and what university, there are a few different Facebook groups. So one for like buying and selling textbooks, one for just university life, just to get to know people, and then there's one or two that I'm a part of that are to do with Bachelor or Master of Primary and Education. So they're kind of doing the same thing. So whether you're in the first year like myself, or whether you're in your fourth year, you can be part of a little community online, as well as you might see them face to face in your class if you're on campus. But the last little bit that I wanted to show you, which is actually perfect timing for this video for me to do today, because I was given from my mum, so thank you very much, Mum, a little package, and I think it is so adorable. I am so excited to use this for my studies. So the funny thing is, actually, I am starting university tomorrow as a 32-year-old. So tomorrow's my birthday. There won't be a birthday vlog just because we're not doing anything this year. But I just wanted to show you, my mum came around last night for dinner, and so Saturday night, and gave me a little gift that she'd put together, a few little bits and pieces that she knew I would need to help me with my university studies. And I just wanted to show you guys. I think they're so cute. So the first one is a planner. I love the colour. I'm kind of obsessed with this. It has a pocket for your ID and other cards that you need. This is really handy because Alexander has actually been stealing my university ID card. So that's why it's actually on a lanyard, because Steve bought me one because he was stealing it. But this is so cute. I love this. See the good. It has a little paper clip in it, and just to-do list. The next little piece is some notepads, and I think they are so cute. This one says good as gold. Love this. Little diamonds. And my favourite, I think, out of all of them is a rose gold spotted one. So they will come in handy when I need to, especially when I'm doing probably prac work. These will be really handy instead of having to take my big book with me. This will just be handy in my backpack. I also got this very cute little stationery pack. So it's got a couple of pencils, a sharpener, I believe that's a rubber, some washi tape, some paper clip things, and also some sticky notes. And also some pens. Oh my gosh, so cute. It was really funny because when she handed me my present, as most kids do, even when you're an adult, you shake the present because you want to know what it is. I shook it and I heard the pencils and I was going, oh yay, I've got pencils. And I kind of looked at her and I was like, why did she give me pencils? I'm an adult. And then I was like, oh, right. I figured out why. It's below, but if you have any questions about anything that I've spoken about today or anything you think I've missed, comment down and I will try and answer them as much as possible. As I said, I'm only new to this, so we'll see how we go. Alright guys, I'll see you very soon. Bye.